You're looking at the Choirboyz Camp Knife, sheep's foot or Warncliffe blade, made by Jed Hornbeak. It's got some gorgeous micarta scales on it and just a wicked looking blade profile. It came wicked sharp. This was sent by Scab. Just an incredible blade, and as I understand it, this is, just one of two different style Choirboyz camp knives, and the other one's slightly different, obviously, but this thing is just crazy good. It fits the hand so well, and I wanted to put it through some cutting tasks and some fire prep tasks, because it's a camp knife. It can obviously cut meat, right? So some of these cutting tests would totally translate over to cleaning an animal and stuff like that. But you're also going to have a fire. So I think one of the number one camp tasks is being able to make a fire with it. So we're going to test some of those elements, and we'll get right down to it here. Did a good job feather sticking right there. That's super easy. But this blade is crazy sharp. And there's just one more look at this thing. I really like the side profile of this knife. The hardware to attach the handle scales, I think, is pretty sweet. It all matches, and that micarta is just gorgeous looking. There's not really a 90-degree edge on most of the backside spine of this, so there's a little bit up there on the front as it turns down. So that's good for the ferro rod there, just using that Uberleben ferro rod. And it struck up that fat wood really good. So we're going to transfer this fire over into a fire pit here. All right, so we're going to get down to some of this cutting. And the material I wanted to use today was leather. If it can cut leather, it's going to do fine cutting up meat and different things like that for food prep. Leather's a pretty tough. You have to have a good sharp blade. A lot of the leather workers and stuff use razor blades to make cuts on a flat piece that they've traced out and stuff like this. Now, we're just kind of cutting through the backside of some thinner stuff here, but it really didn't take a whole lot of force. This is pretty thick stuff here, and I need to find a way to steady this stuff a little bit more, because it's just a lack of keeping it steady. It's not that the blade is struggling through this stuff. I need to do a little bit better about setting up for this, but it just carves right through that, and I would say that's like 11 or 12 ounce leather. It's not veg tan. I forgot what it is. There's veg tan right there, and it takes some sharpness to cut through this stuff. So that's why I wanted to use this, and there it's just kind of slicing it like it's a freaking sandwich, basically, or just it's just a great medium for cutting, and it's part of an animal when you get down to it, so it's going to simulate using it on an animal to some degree. Obviously the tanning process changes it, but there is a grain to this hide, and this blade will just burn right through it as long as you can get the leather to stand on end. Made quick work of all that. As far as the grips go and just the ease of use, this thing fits my hand really well, and that's always something I like in a knife is something I can get a good grip on. And it's got kind of a contoured, as far as like your fingers fitting into the bottom side of it, it fits really well. So you're not going to be slipping, or if you were to even stab with this thing, although it's not so much of a stabbing weapon, you could do it, but it's really not a stabbing knife. You could poke through with it, though. You're not going to be slipping at all, holding on to that. And it made quick work here batoning. Again, a little bit more fire prep type stuff. And I wouldn't go for using this on, exceptionally large logs or anything like that. It's not really the purpose of this knife. This needs to be like a jack of all trades in the camp, in my mind. If it's going to be called a camp knife, You need to be able to do all the camp tasks more than anything else. So in a camp knife, I'm looking for something that's a mid-length blade that's robust enough that it's going to hold up to batoning, even cross grain to cut like saplings down to build a shelter, but small enough and just more user friendly in the sense that I could be able to clean an animal out with it, or even do some small, more finer bushcraft tasks, like even if I had to build a frame for a pack, or cut notches for primitive traps, or even cut little limbs off of saplings that you can weave into like a fishing basket and things like that. The more everyday existence survival tasks if you were stuck in the wilderness. That, to me, that and food prep, I mean, that's really the essence of a camp knife in my mind. And again, just one more close look at this blade. The side profile and just the way it's gripped in the hand and fits the hand with like finger grooves up under the bottom of it are pretty badass. I wish that the spine had a 90-degree angle on it rather than just up there towards the tip of the blade. Like, I guess that's a swedge. That's what it looks like to me. But I just wish that there was something right directly on the back side of that had a 90-degree on it. But this thing cuts like a madman. And this scabbard, I said in the short, and I'll use the same terminology, this is second to none. This is badass right here. Like the combination of Kydex and leather, and he's got his logo embossed on the back of it, Jed Hornbeak, using, I believe those are Chicago screws. I didn't take it apart to check it, but that's what that looks like to me, and that's what I use for some stuff. But I just love the overall construction of this blade. It snaps in great. It's really secure, and just the sort of two-tone brown is awesome. So definitely a 10 of 10 as far as the build of this, the comfort of grip, the scabbard itself, and just the overall fit and finish of this and performance. This blade's sharp as shit. You should go check out Jed Hornbeak Knives if you fancy this style of build. I don't think you're going to be disappointed. If you're in the market for some handcrafted, quality leather gear that will last a lifetime, look no further than Fortner's Frontier Leather. With log carriers, holsters, belts, knife scabbards, wallets, and many other items handmade with the same competent craftsmanship like the craftsmen of yesteryear. Visit modernfrontiersman.com or click the link in the bio to view the entire catalog and use code Missouri Survival at checkout.